Alright, so that was just a quick test ride. Try to see if everything's all good. And everything is good on it. Kind of loose this chain got. Just for a couple accelerations. That's okay. I just slide the engine over and I'll put tension onto the chain. The brakes, I don't know why, but they got better. I don't know if it's probably because the rotor and everything heated up. I don't know, but it just got better for some reason at the end after riding it. Seat's nice. I gotta find a better route for all this junk here because this is just wire wrapped around the frame. I gotta try to find a better way to do all this. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna use a jack shaft on this build here. I think the clutch to the sprocket is just fine. That's like a 60-ish tooth sprocket, 35 chain. I mean, it's huge compared to the wheel. Surprisingly enough, this thing was actually pretty darn smooth. Yeah, these mini bike tires are much more smoother than the actual bicycle tires. These are much more stiffer. Yep, and once it's all painted and it's ready to go, take this to the proving grounds. Alright, so there's one more thing I want to do. This is a little too narrow, and I have thick inner thighs, so it's quite the squeeze. So I'm going to put some foot pegs on the side like that. I'm not going to weld the whole foot peg because I want to be able to replace it if it gets damaged. So I'm just going to weld a bolt on either side. Go. Foot pegs, y'all. Okay, so I have my frames painted. I only put one coat on because I ran out of paint and I really don't want to go and buy some more paint. I kind of screwed up back here. You see the damage. Yeah, does not look good. So when I was painting this, I flipped it over too soon when it was still wet, so it stuck onto some of the masking that I have. I threw it away, and it just peeled it right off because it dried onto that paper. The seat's going to sit on that, so it's not really going to bother, and then the gas tank's going to go here. It just does not look good, at least that back end. Everything else is looking fine. Still drying right now, so you can see some of the wet spots. Yeah, the forks did not paint good either. You can see some missing spots here. Here she is, all put together. Never mind my paint job. Like I said before, I did a horrible job with this paint. But I do like the color. I'm glad I did green, black on the swing arm and the forks. I was going to do green everything, but I'm glad I didn't. But you know what? It's just going to get scratched and scuffed up anyway, so whatever. That would help. Kickstand. Okay. this. It is nice. She ain't fast. Yeah. That's all the beans she's got. She ain't fast. 23, yeah, right. Well, let's see how she does off-road. Lost it. But you know what? It's not as bad as a bike. squeaking bad. I thought the shocks would be nice. Now it just needs a 212. No, but all in seriousness, this actually performed really good. The only battle scar it has is the kickstand. Just busted right off. But that's kind of my fault. Really, like only one side welded. I didn't even weld this side. That's crazy. I must have missed. I kept forgetting to kick this back up, the kickstand, so every time when I'm at a stop, I accelerate, it would just snag on the floor. And that's probably what did it, what busted it off. No complaints. Forks actually held up pretty well too. I thought those were going to bend in because of how it's built. Yeah, it's not like a traditional mini bike fork where it's you got like cross support here and it's not as long. Absolutely love this. I kind of learned to appreciate the step-through frame of scooters. Because sometimes, you know, like on mini bikes when you're riding, your feet are out here and you're riding for so long, your legs kind of cramp up, so you got to move them. So I move them into here, and it feels great. Cramps go away, and then it starts cramping up here, so I move them back out, and then, yeah. The suspension is kind of stiff on it. In hindsight, I should have actually had that more in, but then I can't because the engine would be in the way. I could have got away with one shock and mounted it in here. That would have been a better. That would have been better. So the suspension wouldn't be as stiff. These shocks are adjustable, but they are adjusted to be on the very squishy side. These shocks go on mini bikes and go-karts. I should have known better. I should have only just used one back here. With both of them, it's real stiff. You'll feel it when you hit like a large rock or a large or a bump. Then they'll squish down. But any like little cracks and stuff, you're not gonna. It's gonna feel real stiff back there. You won't even notice you have shocks. And these foot pegs, I need to wrap some of this grip tape. I need to wrap it around because my feet kept slipping off these with the paint. It's real smooth, even though it has some texture to it. Yeah, so that's about it. I think this project is complete. Like I said, the paint job was bad, but everything else actually turned out real well. It can handle off-road, so you can do bumps and stuff. It's just a little underpowered. If it did have a 212, you would have a blast on this, no problem. Brakes are squeaky, but that's I don't know how well the camera's picking it up on it, but this caliper's a little too small for these discs. It's just, you can see it's only contacting a little bit, not the full amount on this this brake rotor here. The engine actually pulled itself at an angle. It's at an angle now. even though I cranked down on it real tight. That's one bad thing about slots, and when it comes to these engines and slots, a lot of mini bikes use that setup. The engine will actually pull itself back. That's the problem I have with the with mounts that are slotted, where you can slide the engine. Even though this engine only has like 3 horsepower, it still has enough torque to pull itself back. And now, even though it's still in alignment because of those slots there, the engine can't, pull itself to the side, but it can only pull itself back. So the chain will loosen up a little bit, or it might pull back on one side like what it's doing now, and it will be off just by a little bit. Still pretty tensioned, really good. So yeah, I'm gonna call it for this one. This project is complete. Alright guys, so I'll see you in the next one.